Welcome back to another episode of Unpacked. We are at the Unpacked Cafe, and we are in the middle of a really dynamic conversation. And so I don't want to delay any further. Let's get back to the conversation.
I want to say something for you, and I know it applies to everybody that's on this platform right now. You wouldn't be here if you didn't want it.
That's right.
Right. True.
That's right.
Y'all all got an invitation.
Take your time to think about that.
Nobody was compensated that I know of. No. I don't know about any checks going out. I don't know how expensive everybody on this set is right now. I think we ordered some lunch, but I don't. If we came out any more than that, I'm gonna need to know. We got a budget that we gonna need to stick to. But you wouldn't be here right now if you didn't want it.
That's right.
If you didn't believe in it.
That's right.
So let's speak to that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Everybody secretly wants help.
What made you come here?
Can I? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
please.
Daniel.
Go ahead.
So I started going to AA again right about the time that you started this series, a little bit before.
Wow.
And it's just been like I always knew that I had to do it. I was 3.5, almost 4 years sober now.
Congratulations. Can we just stop and say
come on,
congratulations?
Daniel. Good job.
Thank you.
We celebrate that, bro.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So like right now, this last week, I went through the 5th step. I had to write down resentments, and I got a lot of them. Like I've got a lot of resentments. But when I finished that, I was just I felt so frayed. I felt like my nerves were just, but it was something that I knew that I had to do. It's something that and I spend so much time internalizing my anger. Like when I was a kid, honey, shh, don't. And it was just like I've spent my whole life telling myself everything's great, everything's perfect.
Wow.
But it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm really pissed off. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm really angry about something.
Bring it out.
You're okay.
I
just,
Here we go.
Yeah.
like the
You're
things that I
okay.
can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing when I was confessing to my sponsor, I just had a lot of things that I just hadn't gotten over.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I go to therapy as well. I'm married to a therapist.
Yeah.
So
Good job.
I mean,
Yeah.
mental
That's
health
the
is
life hack right there. Marry a therapist.
But I have a level of accountability that I feel like a lot of people don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did I change the circumstances that I was in? Absolutely.
Yep.
But do you ever reach nirvana? Do you ever? No.
Yeah.
Like we're a work in process, and we're never going to get to where until we get to the.
Yeah.
Good.
That's so good.
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
is.
glad you said that. I want to ask a question. I hope it doesn't feel like I'm prying. Because I see everything in pictures. As all of y'all are talking, I'm actually watching what y'all are saying, right? So what did it cost little Daniel to not be given permission to be angry? I mean, it's a natural emotion that was given to us by God. And it sounds like you were asked to suppress it or told to suppress it. What did that cost you?
Resentment.
Yeah.
It created this little angry kid that couldn't. Like my childhood was pretty close to perfect. My dad was a little distant because he was working a lot. He probably dealt with a lot of things. My mom was super anxious all the time. Mm-hmm. So I know that I was always just resentful as a kid, and I always followed directions. I did everything, but when I got to 18, I broke.
Oh, for sure.
I broke hard.
Yeah.
And I started smoking weed, and then, it progressed until I ended up going to 4 years ago, going treatment.
Yeah.
And and I realize now, I mean, literally now, within the last week, just how angry I am at myself, how resentful I am at myself, and how sorry I am to God that I didn't do this sooner.
Oh, yeah.
So but like I said, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's important. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel.
Yes.
I love that. Sometimes we beat ourselves up for us not finding the help sooner. And that always breaks my heart because I always look at it as, but I'm so grateful you got it at whatever point in life. But I know it's hard, when you're going through something and it's just like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Why didn't I get this? Like I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70.
Why didn't I listen?
Why didn't I listen?
Yeah,
why didn't I listen? Why didn't I do? And I know that that could take a toll internally on the, on the mind, for sure. It torments us to think like that. Yet on the flip side, I'm always so grateful that as long as you still have breath in your body, there's time. You know what I mean? You have an opportunity as long as you're still breathing. And even, I know you wanted to say something, but I was going to say that also segues into your a safe mind for your recovery.
I want to acknowledge, I think this is so important.
Yeah.
Before we get into the mind about environments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? Because we have talked about some experiences here where the literal environment wasn't safe, right? When you see a murder,
that's right,
and have to go to school the next day, it ain't safe.
That's right.
I saw a 9-year-old get hit by a truck. Head slammed on the concrete, skull cracked open, brain fell out. I witnessed that. 4 hours later, I was at Disneyland riding Space Mountain 26 times in a row. That's all my parents knew to do.
That's what they were like to do. Yeah.
Take him to the park. You know what I mean? Let's go see Mickey Mouse.
Take him out into a happy environment.
Right?
Hopefully he forgets.
Right?
Yeah.
So shooting, drugs, crack, all that kind of stuff, right? That's what we saw. This environment was unsafe too.
That's right.
Absolutely.
What seemed safe wasn't.
Right.
What seemed safe wasn't.
It seemed like it was safe. It wasn't safe. Because if I'm not safe to express myself and have that contained.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when we tell our children, don't cry, suck it up. If you better stop pouting, or I'm gonna give you something to be mad about. Like all it, all this crazy stuff, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
And when we go out, you everything that stays like you are literally
stifling them,
bottling this.
That's right.
Person up, and these emotions have no place to come out in a safe place. It's gonna come out somewhere else.
That's right.
And so I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that when we say an unsafe environment, we just ain't talking about crack and guns and murder and
gang
and sexual abuse. We're talking about
a safe home
the inability for my emotions to be stewarded
That's right.
by people who love me.
That's right.
Right? I was not, you didn't let me cry and you beat me. Right?
Or you didn't let me talk.
You know what I mean? You didn't let me talk. You raised your voice at me. I raised my voice back. I'm matching you.
That's right.
This is an intense moment. And then I get backhanded because I raised my voice. But you were screaming first.
Right.
Who's the adult here? Right? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we have to acknowledge, and we talked about this on the show with all the girls.
Yeah.
I wish we could all get 3 generations in a room.
That's right.
And all 3 generations own their stuff.
Just start, yes.
If the parents can say, if they could just call their own foul, I shouldn't have done that to you.
Yeah.
I promise you, healing would take place. And I mean, there'd be so many things that be like, you know what? I can erase that off of my resentment list. You know what I mean? I can't believe you apologized. Never thought you would even own that, right?
That's right.
If the grandmama can say, you know what? I was never married. You know what I mean?
That's right.
The reason why y'all got 3 last names is...
That's right.
Just tell us.
That's right.
If you was a hoe, we need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm out here 14.
That's right. That's
trying to finger a girl. Right?
Yeah.
I need
to
need to know.
Where is this coming from? Why am I thinking about this right now? The other guys are just playing Fortnite. I'm over here trying to get in this girl's drawers. Is this normal? Right? So because again, I believe one of the greatest generational curses is silence.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's when you do not give context to the next generation about the crap that we've gone through. And so as you can tell, I'm
a little bit passionate.
I'm getting passionate about this because we can literally end the cycle.
That's right.
If we talk about it.
Well, then you can start now for the next generation.
It's good that you're saying that because
take a deep breath. Woosah, woosah. Come on. Inhale.
This is my technique right here.
Exhale. There you go.
Feel the ridges of your
Feel the
fingers.
ridges. Breathe in. in, breathe
Breathe
out.
out.
That's right.
Good.
Go ahead, Rory.
So I've been dealing with, you mentioned two things for me. One is the generation of silence.
Yeah.
And so for me, right now, part of my family is going through a situation where information has come out about different members of our family, particularly it's close-knit, mother, father, so forth and so on. And it's like probably 50 years have passed, and I'm just now really finding out who my biological grandfather is.
Wow.
And so it becomes, you hear the name, I grew up where, my name is different from other people. So question is, if my grandfather that I know of,
Right.
he has this last name, why is my last name different? And so now and I did this when I was probably 8. So of course you start hearing,
For sure.
had a child, here's the father, woo, 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 woo. Well, where is he?
Right.
Over somewhere else. Stop, years passed, and now my father is starting to ask and inquire, and it's like, nobody says anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Wow.
so much years have gone by, the people that have this information
That's right.
are all dead.
Right. Right.
Or either don't want to talk about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
You can't get nothing out
You
of them.
can't get nothing.
Yeah.
And so for me, there's an issue wrestling with the issue of identity.
Yep.
Who are you?
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
You know,
'Cause there's no resolve.
There is no resolve.
That's
There is
right.
there's no point of reference.
right.
Who can I go back to find out
That's right.
where this started?
That's right.
And so now, for me, I'm starting this thing with my kids where I'm pretty much an open book.
That's right.
This is what dad has done.
Yep.
This is how dad has been.
Yep.
Even to the point, you mentioned something else as far as I'm raising my voice to my kids. I go back to my kids and apologize. Hey, look,
That's right.
Daddy's sorry.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I did not mean to
That's
put
right. Good job.
I did not mean to grab
That's
you
right.
a certain way.
Right.
And I have
Good.
girls, so I definitely have to. For me,
Yes.
I have to be careful.
For sure.
Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time because she was like, "Babe, you seem a little soft." I said, part of that is because I don't want my girls to think that the normal
That's
is some
right.
man raising
That's
his voice,
right.
Yeah.
That's
or either
right,
grabbing
Rory.
her.
Yes,
You know what I'm
honey.
saying? Or either the only time I show love
That's right.
is after I did something wrong.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's
Yeah, bro,
right.
you don't have
So
to-
good.
Yeah,
Rory.
so now I am more intentional, particularly with one of my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I am more intentional about making sure that, hey, look, daddy loves you.
Yep.
Even if there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be, you messed up, oh my God, daddy's sorry, I love you.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
you create we subconsciously create these norms for our
Yeah,
children.
that's true. It's true.
And they end up perpetuating the
That's
same
right.
cycle over and over again.
That's
And I
right.
was like, you know what? I have to stop this.
Right.
It
Yes,
has
sir.
to start with me.
That's
Yes, sir.
right.
And this is going to end with me.
That's
Yes,
right.
So,
Girls, man.
yeah, definitely,
That's right.
definitely.
We are teaching our children in word and in
Indeed.
deed
That's right.
what we are saying and what we are doing
That's
Yeah.
right.
is establishing the culture of the house
Mm-hmm.
and it's establishing how they are going to interact with others
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
outside of the house.
Yeah.
And so it is so important
Yeah, it is.
to call your own foul.
That's right.
You have to.
Yeah, I did that
You
to
have
my
to.
son. He grown, and my son said something one time, because people that know me and my son, we got like an open relationship. He gonna say what he want to say, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna let him say it.
Yeah.
Now, do I like it? I'll be like, hey, well, okay, calm down now. But the fact
Bring that
is,
tone down a little
lot
bit.
of it is because of stuff before I became aware
Yes.
that I was traumatized.
Yes, sir.
Because again, it was regular life to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It was stuff like seeing people, families that together, I'd be like, yo, this is the weirdest thing to get.
Right.
For me, it's weird.
'Cause
Yeah.
It's not normal.
But my son, he loves family. And for me to go to, I went and apologized to my son as a grown man.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Good job.
I was like, man, look, I apologize. I said, it's a lot of stuff I taught you and showed you when you was younger, which was absolutely wrong.
Right.
Because my two granddaughters, I refuse. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be real. It's good Rory is taking his daughters like that because there's some dudes out here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
It's blood in the water.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Sharks.
Yes.
Right.
And when they know them females got daddy issues,
Yes.
That's right.
it's like, oh, it's
Absolutely.
up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, your daughter's somewhere on a pole.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
Or he got it somewhere
Yeah.
That's right.
on the strip.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like I'm free enough to say this now.
Please.
Growing up, before my mama got saved, my mother was a prostitute, bro. My daddy was her pimp.
Wow.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So for shock value purpose, I tell people I'm a product of a pimp and a hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what my life was kind of.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my daddy said something, this was about 5 years ago. He said, I'm the one that have a woman in Hawaii sell it and she don't know how she got there.
Wow.
And I was like, man, what do you mean? And my son got in the car. I'm like, yo, you 70-some years old, you still talking like this?
Wow.
And my son got in the car. My son said, man, you gonna be just like Pop. I was like, no, I'm not.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Because I refuse to be that.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sir.
I refuse to be that. So
That's right.
I believe apologizing to your kids for stuff you've done in the past and not knowing, because like you said, when you're not aware.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like for years, I wasn't aware. Then when I got in the music business and it took off, I didn't care about what happened in the past.
For sure.
It's just kind of like recently, these past 5 years, life came down and said, hey, guess what?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still here, brother.
Yeah.
That's right.
What you gonna do with it now?
Yeah.
That's right.
So you have to, I just think, taking care of your kids, like you said, breaking that cycle.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because it's really, y'all forgive me for this. I don't really believe in generational curses like that.
Yeah.
I believe in the cycle, though.
Yes.
That's right. 100%.
Because you feeding your kid this,
That's
you're
what
feeding
that
your
is.
kid that.
That's
Because
what
for
that
me,
is.
it was, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you. Why are you beating me so much?
Yeah.
I just went outside and showed a karate move because I was in karate class. Because I didn't come right back, I got a whole naked whooping. I got a whole naked whooping.
Right. A naked
right.
whooping. Those are the worst.
That's the.
So let me say this about what you just said in terms of the generational curses being more about this generational cycle of behavior. I had there was like a health fair. This is when I worked at the Potter's House. And we had a health fair. And so we were doing like free checkups.
Right. I remember this.
You remember this? Free checkups and, you know, I think they were testing blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. So I go up to the little deal and, you know, all the pastors were doing it as well as like a charge. Like, we're doing it, you do it, right? So I fill out the little form and she goes, do you have any history of illnesses in your family? And I said, well, you know, high blood pressure runs in the family, diabetes runs in the family. I named off like 3 or 4 things.
Right.
And that nurse looked up at me and she slammed her hand on the table and she said, it does not run in your family, it runs in what you eat.
Come on.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes. Tell that truth.
That's good.
Tell that truth.
That's good.
Shift. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
This doesn't actually run in the family.
That's right.
Wow.
This runs in what you put in your mouth.
You choose to unlock
Generation after generation keeps putting the same food in their mouth.
That's right.
And their body keeps giving the same result.
Yeah.
And nobody will break
That's right.
that cycle.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
good.
In the
That's
same
good.
way, I just want to say that because some people might be like, y'all got a street dude that's on the show, and I don't think he's theologically sound, and there are generational curses. He didn't say that there aren't generational curses.
Right.
He's just saying he don't assign everything to a generational curse
And that's
like
the
the
truth.
rest of us do.
Like I told my mama that.
Because if I really break down
That's
what
right.
your curse is,
That's right.
it's probably you.
That's right.
Ooh.
100%.
Your behaviors are cursed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And this has been your behavior.
That's right.
And it was your mama's behavior.
Yeah.
And it was your grandmama's behavior.
And you're just
it was
repeating
your
it.
great-grandmama's behavior.
right.
So this ain't really a curse that the enemy has come in
Right.
and
Right.
sat on the family. He done assigned Beelzebub or screw tape to come in here and elbow y'all in the nose. Some of y'all just won't change your behavior because this is just the Robinson way.
That's good.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is just the way our family is.
something?
Anger runs in the family.
That's right.
We all like this. Well, we
I
don't
hate
all
that
have to
term.
be like
I
this.
hate that term.
Every generation has to accept
Yeah, bro.
the spirit
Yeah.
And that's what I was just going to say.
that's on that family.
They're accepting it.
That's exactly
and so
right.
it is welcomed.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
When you accept it,
That's right.
you welcome it.
That's
I
right.
told my
Stan,
mama
were you
that.
going to say something
Oh, go ahead.
earlier? Oh, okay.
I was just listening.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something you wanted to say.
Well, I know the third part that we're going to get to is about the mind.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here listening, you know, the safe body, the safe environment, and I'm listening. And you go back about 15 years ago, even as a pastor, I'm saying, man, that's a shame. You all are messed up.
Right.
That was my way of thinking because I was in this safe body and I had a safe environment. I didn't realize the baggage or in my luggage was the trash I really saw as toys. I thought they were good. I was embraced. I didn't realize how messed up until I really hit a tough time 14 years ago as a pastor, not family, but as ministry. And part of the identity that I thought was so good was I'm very positive. You know, some of the futuristic positivity, man, tomorrow's a better day, I guarantee you. But what that also created was an avoidance of really confronting issues.
Wow. In the present.
Oh my gosh. I had a situation as a pastor. The Lord told me I'm meeting with a board member that did something he shouldn't have done. And I'm meeting, I'm going to confront, and I reduced it to the point where I got the nod, and I'm like, man, we're all good. We're all good. And it was only a matter of time. It's like you don't go in and get 70% of the cancer.
Right.
You got to deal with it.
That's right.
And I was the one that was assigned as the pastor, as an under shepherd.
Yes.
But you can't partially lead.
That's right.
You got to fully lead.
Yes, good.
That's good, Stan.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And a couple of years later, all of a sudden it comes up, and it's a blow up. And I remember being so ticked off. I remember, because it started with after a church service.
Yeah, it's okay.
My daughter, my youngest, comes in, and we're at the house, and she comes in and looks at me. What did you do? Baby, what are you talking about? What did you do? Said, my best friend, I'm never going to get to see my best friend again. I haven't even got to talk to some key individuals, but they overheard a conversation, and their little girl, my little girl, she tells my daughter, I'm never going to get to see you again.
Wow.
I go into my closet. I'm so ticked. I shut the door. I go in the back door. I go through the bathroom, shut that door. I go into the closet, shut that door. And I wasn't cursing at my father, but I'm cursing in his presence.
Yeah.
And I'm going off. And I didn't touch the money. I only touched my wife. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, that's just it, son. You didn't do anything.
Wow.
And he took me back to all of a sudden when I should have dealt with it.
Yeah.
And I partially dealt with it.
Wow.
And all of a sudden it began to uncover some things that I thought were toys or treasures, but they were trash. A part of my behavior that made me not confront, not deal.
Wow.
And that took me through a cycle that, Lord, I for almost 9 months, I learned what it was like to get 3 hours of sleep a night. That's how long I could sleep from sheer exhaustion.
Wow.
Before my mind would wake me back up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And I remember going in at times, I'm up, I'm walking. I remember going into bed and just grabbing Mandy's hand and putting it on I mean, she's asleep. And I'm grabbing it. I've got to have peace.
Yes. Wow.
And I remember all of a sudden, all the wonderful advice that I was sharing, I realized how little I was living.
Yeah.
And I also realized Mandy was my safe place.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. But I was overwhelming her.
Yeah.
And I had to go somewhere because I'm going back to all these counseling sessions, giving this great advice, and even individuals that are contemplating suicide. And I didn't realize, because I spiritualized suicide. I wasn't thinking about taking pills or going to back room shooting myself. I started envisioning, this is so rough. Lord, you know what? I've got some wins on the wall. I've had a good life.
Wow. Wow.
Man, how good, you know, Mandy, the kids will be okay if I were just gone. You know what?
Wow.
Let me punch in and punch out.
Wow.
And then the Lord just lovingly scolded me. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What voice are you listening to?
That's good.
All because in my baggage, what I thought were toys and treasure was really trash.
Wow.
And it caused me to run from conflict. You just give me the thumbs up, we're all good. Let's go get some pizza.
Right.
I'm dodging and averting versus dealing.
Yeah.
And that took me a little bit.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it took me from being a pastor that just, what's your problem? And I'm thumbing out scriptures and with sincerity.
Yeah.
But I had no concept of the clinical.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't go there because I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now I was in a place that just a prayer was not going to get me through it.
Right.
That's right.
I didn't know how to break the cycle.
Yep.
That's right.
And I was stuck
That's right.
Yeah.
until I finally reached out.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's so sobering. I heard so
Goodness
many
gracious.
things in there. One of the things I heard is that what you don't kill now will kill you later. Partial obedience is complete disobedience, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There are sins of commission and omission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of trying to protect, make sure I don't do this and don't do that. And it's like, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I should have dealt with this.
Yeah.
And how much torment it can leave in the mind
Yes.
when you have something that's unresolved and it's plaguing you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think about, okay, I have a safe body now, right? I'm not injuring myself, nobody else is. I have a safe environment, right? Ain't no shooters
Right.
around, you know what I mean? I don't have anybody telling me to suppress my emotions. But what am I thinking up here? My litmus test on how I'm doing, the question I ask everybody in my house every morning, how did you sleep? Before I ask how your day was. I don't care if I see you at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's good.
My first question I'm gonna ask is, how did you sleep? Because I judge my entire life by how quickly I can go to bed.
Good.
Okay.
When I put my head on this pillow,
Yeah.
can I fall asleep? If the answer is no, then the next question is, what is keeping me up?
That's right.
That's good.
What's keeping you awake?
Because if this thought isn't letting me rest, I'm in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tormenting me.
It ain't finances.
Yeah.
It ain't if the cars are working. The water heater bursted, right? It was $4,000. Dang, right? That didn't bother me. 2 ways to look at it. You either mad you had to spend $4,000 for a new water heater, you thank God you had it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Water heaters don't bother me.
Yeah.
Alarms don't bother me. If I don't sleep, that's gonna take me out because this is affecting
How you
I can't have
function.
2 out of 3 of these elements,
That's right.
Yeah.
right?
how you
If
function.
I'm gonna fully recover from trauma, I can't be 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have peace of mind, but at least my
Right.
body's safe and my environment's safe. We got a nice house and we got an alarm on it, and
Yeah.
I got some cameras in the front, and you know what I mean. I got some ARs with some lasers on
Sure.
it at night, so I think I'll be all right. No. But if you didn't go to sleep, do you know Michael Jackson had to use an elephant tranquilizer
Just
to get to sleep?
Yeah.
You know, everybody on this set right now is richer than he was.
That's right. Because we sleep at
Peace of
night.
mind.
Yeah.
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 All that money, he couldn't buy himself no sleep.
Yeah.
That's right.
When your body, when that frail body needs an elephant tranquilizer to get to sleep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
you're not living your best life.
No.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So
Listen, I
this is rich.
This is so good, and I am. It's killing me to end right here.
Don't
and
let it
right
kill
now.
you, baby.
I know. I don't
we
want
need-
to. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you all. So first of all, I want to say thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much for your vulnerability and your transparency and your stories and your experiences and where you are and where you were.
Yeah.
And not being afraid to share it with the world.
Yep.
I want you to know that everything that you all have said today is going to just reverb into their hearts and into their minds, and it's going to sit with them because you all are not the only one.
That's right.
And you all have brothers out there that are watching. You have fathers out there that are watching that have been in every one of these situations.
Yeah.
Unsafe environments, safe environments, but not emotionally safe, not mentally safe.
Yep.
And so I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. This was amazing. Thank you for this series that you're doing, Tim.
You're
on
welcome,
Peace
baby.
of Mind.
You're welcome.
It is a tremendous series that it is helping a myriad of people out there. And, you know, like he said, it is bringing things to the surface, and that's okay. Let it come to the surface. Let it rise so that you can deal with it. If you don't deal with it now, you'll end up dealing with it later.
True.
So deal with it where you have the strength and the capacity to. The takeaway for today is have a safe environment. Have a support system that can help you. Get the help that you need.
Yeah.
Go back over sermons. Go back over this series. Get help. At the end of this show, you're going to see a list of counselors and aides where you can go and seek guidance. And I want you to know that we love you. And I know that life sometimes gets hard, but you don't have to do life by yourself. Life is also hard, but it's not impossible. And so you are not alone. And I want you to know that we're here to help. And we want you to get all the help that you need, because why keep living a life that is tormented and beat down when you can live a life of freedom and victory?
Right.
Yes.
And so for you, I want to say a prayer for you and say, Father, we thank you for every one of those who's watching.
Thank you, Lord.
I pray, Father God, that your peace would just flood through this screen right now, that whatever anxiety and depression that they're fighting with, you are greater. You can give it to them.
Yes,
I
Lord.
pray that your comforter, the Holy Spirit, will rest on them right now and be with them. Calm every nerve, calm every fear. And I pray right now, Father, that you give them peace that they can't even understand.
Yes, Lord.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Jesus' name.
Come back next week and catch us on another episode. We're going to continue this conversation, and these men, they're going to keep talking.
Let's go.
See you then.